A blazing dragon egg rests in your hands, heat pushing through thick gloves. The egg trembles in heavy pulses, cracks spreading rapidly, thin smoke escaping like a powerful first breath of life. The baby dragon looks around curiously, nibbling the glove like a toy, completely unaware of the power it already holds. An empty glass tank is placed down, cold and clean, ready to become the first habitat for this creature. Volcanic sand is poured in, rocks stacked into a cave, forming a perfect habitat for the baby dragon. You gently place it inside the cave, and it curls up instantly as if it has always belonged there. It steps out, approaches the tiny volcano, sniffs the smoke, then suddenly sneezes out its first spark. A spicy pepper is given, it chews happily, its scales glowing brighter with every passing second. After eating, it returns to the cave, curling up as each soft breath releases a thin trail of smoke. It stares at the painted sky backdrop, trying to grab fake clouds with its tiny claws. A water bowl is placed inside, the reflection shimmering as curiosity pulls it closer to investigate. It leans in to drink but dips too deep, sneezing hard and creating small bubbles rising up. Moments later, it jumps into the bowl, splashing happily like it is swimming in a vast ocean. Stepping out, it shivers slightly, then channels heat, steam rising as its body dries completely. A large cricket is dropped in, instantly turning the calm environment into a tense, instinct-driven hunt. It lowers its body, eyes locked on prey, tail twitching slightly, preparing for its first precise strike. It lunges quickly but misses, face planting into the sand in a clumsy and unexpected fall. Frustrated, it inhales deeply and spits a small fireball toward the panicking prey. The cricket is lightly roasted. It walks over and devours it in one proud bite. Its body begins glowing intensely, energy spreading through every scale, signaling the start of evolution. The light fades, revealing a larger form, wings develop clearly and strength increased significantly. The glass tank now feels too small, forcing it to curl uncomfortably, clearly no longer suitable. An outdoor enclosure is built quickly, larger and stronger to match its new size. You carry it outside, much heavier now, every movement showing clearly superior strength. It begins testing its new environment, biting the metal fence and applying force to evaluate the strength around it. A punching bag is hung in the center, swaying slightly, acting as the first challenge for its growing strength. It steps forward and throws its first punch, the impact making the bag swing violently within the confined space. It continues delivering rapid punches, speed increasing, each impact echoing clearly throughout the space. A spinning kick ignites briefly, leaving a clear scorch mark burned into the surface of the bag. After training, it sits down, breathing heavily as heat radiates and distorts the air around it. A large watermelon rolls into the enclosure, moving slowly across the ground, immediately catching its attention. It raises its arm and slams down, smashing the watermelon into pieces as juice and pulp scatter everywhere. It lowers its head and eats greedily red juice, covering its mouth and body, ignoring the mess around it. In a dark corner, a giant spider appears, slowly crawling down the fence with a clearly threatening presence. It freezes instantly, eyes focused, body shifting into a heightened alert and combat-ready state. Without hesitation, it charges the gate, breaking the metal latch and bursting out with overwhelming force. It lowers its body, moving slowly through the dark as smoke drifts from its nostrils, preparing to strike. The spider suddenly lunges forward at high speed, attacking directly with its sharp open fangs. It spins instantly to dodge, maintaining perfect balance, and preparing to counterattack immediately. It swings its tail powerfully, striking the spider and sending it flying across the ground. The spider retaliates by shooting webbing at its legs, restricting movement for a dangerous moment. It struggles to break free, pulling hard, but the sticky webbing keeps it briefly trapped. It lowers its head and breathes fire onto its own legs, burning the webbing and freeing itself instantly. As soon as it breaks free, it lunges forward and unleashes a powerful stream of fire at the spider. The flames engulf the spider, completely incinerating it, leaving scorched ground and rising smoke. It stands tall and roars loudly, asserting its newfound strength after its first real battle outside. At night, it returns to the enclosure, curling up on a large log, its body heat making the wood glow faintly. The next day, you throw a branch far away, starting a new game to test its reflexes and speed. It chases after it quickly, moving like a large predator, full of energy and excitement. It leaps and catches the branch mid-air, landing powerfully while maintaining control. Heat from its body ignites the wood in its mouth, startling it and causing it to drop the branch. The branch burns into ash instantly, and it looks down confused, still adjusting to its strength. It climbs onto a small roof, standing unsteady and looking down, preparing for its first flight attempt. It jumps down, flapping rapidly, trying to stay airborne but lacking enough lift. It crashes into a bush below, only its tail sticking out and twitching slightly. It steps out covered in leaves and twigs, shaking its body to get everything off. It breathes fire onto the turkey, instantly thawing and cooking it with intense heat. It devours it greedily, tearing large chunks of meat, showing its increasing appetite. After the heavy meal, it accidentally lets out a fiery burp, causing the air to ripple and the temperature to rise noticeably. It lies on a car hood, its body heat warming the metal and slightly distorting the air above. A massive shadow sweeps across the area, startling it awake into a heightened state of alert. A giant bird of prey dives rapidly from above, targeting it directly. It rolls aside just in time, avoiding the attack as talons scrape loudly across the metal surface. Both creatures face each other, eyes locked, tension rising as a new battle is about to begin. The bird flaps powerfully and lifts off, creating gusts that scatter dust and leaves everywhere. It leaps after it, wings catching the air for the first time, lifting its body steadily off the ground. Both creatures soar through the sky, chasing each other through clouds, speed and agility increasing every second. It breathes fire mid-air, flames tearing through the air, but the bird dodges, losing only a few singed feathers. The bird counterattacks with a powerful dive, talons striking its back and throwing it off balance mid-air. It drops rapidly, but spreads its wings just in time, regaining control before hitting the treetops below. The bird realizes the opponent is not easy to defeat and turns away, retreating from the fight. It lands on a fence, breathing heavily, body still hot and full of energy after the aerial fight. It licks a small wound on its shoulder, healing itself with heat and strong survival instincts. You gently place your hand on its head, and it closes its eyes, calming down after the tension. A drone descends carrying a piece of meat, starting a new training exercise. It locks onto the target, lowering its body, ready to leap at any moment. The drone ascends quickly, and it immediately chases, taking off with increasingly controlled wings. It follows the drone's zigzag path, training aerial control and reflexes. It suddenly accelerates, opens its jaws, and snatches the meat mid-air with precision. It lands smoothly, eating its reward, clearly showing improvement in flight and control. Over time, its size grows rapidly, and the current enclosure begins to feel too small. It presses against the metal bars, bending them slightly under its massive weight. A large feast is prepared, filled with meat and fruit to meet its increasing energy needs. It eats non-stop faster and faster, as if its body needs energy for a major transformation. After eating, it lies down, belly swollen, body starting to emit a faint internal glow. You guide it inside to rest, the space feeling cramped due to its massive size. It lies on the rug, falling into deep sleep, heavy breathing echoing through the room. While sleeping, its body glows stronger, casting a red-orange light across the entire room. With the rising heat effects nearby objects, plastic begins to melt and the air visibly distorts. Its eyes open in the dark, glowing intensely, signaling an imminent final transformation. A burst of light erupts, its body expanding dramatically into a massive, fully grown dragon. It shifts slightly, its tail sweeping and destroying objects around it with a single motion. Its wings spread, knocking over shelves as its strength overwhelms the confined space. It breathes fire at the ceiling, leaving scorch marks as alarms begin blaring. It charges outside, breaking through doors and walls, freeing itself from confinement. It stands outside, shaking off debris, its massive form fully revealed. It leaps and takes off, creating powerful gusts that blow everything around. It flies above the city, casting a shadow over everything, becoming the dominant sky creature. Its shadow sweeps across the highway, engulfing vehicles below in darkness. You drive below, looking up through the roof window, trying to follow its path. It flies above the car, wings beating slowly, but powerfully generating strong air pressure. It lands on a large bridge, metal groaning under its immense weight. It roars toward the city, the sound echoing far, asserting its dominance. A helicopter spotlight shines on it, revealing every detail of its massive form. It squints in annoyance, reacting with a low, warning growl. The helicopter hovers nearby, keeping distance while observing the massive creature. It releases a warning burst of fire into the sky, missing intentionally, but showing its power. The helicopter immediately retreats, turning away to avoid danger. It leaps from the bridge, dives down, then rises again, flying away from the city. It flies over a vast forest, searching for an environment that suits its natural instincts. You control a drone from afar, maintaining a safe distance while observing its journey. Drone footage shows it flying over mountains, approaching a wild region. It spots a massive canyon, resembling its old habitat but on a much larger scale. It dives into the canyon, gliding low and following the rushing river below. It flies low over a lake, drinking mid-flight and creating large waves behind. It snatches a large fish from the water, showing improved hunting skills. It swallows the fish mid-flight, proving superior survival ability. It finds a massive cave in the cliff, large enough for its enormous size. It lands at the entrance and walks into the darkness, exploring its new space. It lights the cave with fire, revealing the vast interior. It finds a resting spot, circling before lying down out of instinct. Its body heat warms the stone beneath, creating a glowing resting surface. The drone enters the cave, capturing it resting as its massive eye slowly opens and stares directly into the lens. It exhales a soft stream of smoke, fogging the view, then closes its eyes again as if undisturbed. The view clears. It continues sleeping, its body filling most of the massive cave. You stand far away on a mountain, observing through binoculars while maintaining a safe distance. Through the binoculars, a warm glow from the cave confirms it remains there and stable. A flashback appears, showing the tiny dragon inside the glass tank vividly in memory. You place food near the cave entrance, then step back, letting it choose freely. It peeks out, sniffs the food, and gently takes it, no longer aggressive. It flies over a real volcano, observing the lava below like it has found the perfect environment. It dives into the crater, disappearing into thick smoke and intense heat. Inside the lava, it relaxes, completely unaffected by the extreme heat. It sinks deeper, leaving only its head visible as heat radiates outward. It exhales, forming massive lava bubbles that burst with bright flashes. A memory of water appears, contrasting sharply with the current lava environment. It rises from the lava, spreading its wings, glowing as if one with the volcano. A large yellow dump truck rumbles up the dusty mountain road at the base of the volcano, its bed loaded with massive slabs of raw meat. The dump truck backs up to the rocky plateau and tips its bed, dumping a mountain of heavy, wet meat onto the ground. Wearing a hard hat and leather gloves, you stand by the truck and blast a massive air horn into the sky. It descends from the volcano crater and slams onto the plateau, the impact shaking the dump truck. It lowers its massive head and scoops up nearly half the meat pile in one colossal bite. The ground suddenly trembles violently, loose rocks tumbling down the mountainside as it stops eating in confusion. A giant jagged stone hand bursts from the mountainside as the massive rock golem drags itself out of the earth. From behind a large rock at a safe distance, you peek out and pump a fist in celebration of your dragon's victory. Exhausted but victorious, In takes flight, circles the plateau once, and heads back toward the smoking crater. It slides back into its favorite spot in the glowing lava pool and sighs deeply as the heat soothes its battle-worn body. Back in the present, In rests its chin on the crater edge and blows perfect giant smoke rings into the sky. The sun sets behind the smoking volcano, revealing the silhouette of a massive dragon's head resting on the peak.